Well, hello and welcome. Get comfortable, strap yourselves in, and don't look away. We've got a massive game tonight in the Softball SA C-Max Premier League live from West Beach. We play on Gunnerland. Round 13 action between the Eagles and the Falcons. James Harris here, calling the play-by-play of the best softball coverage in the country. And joining me tonight is the 2022 National Champion head coach Bill Benedictson. Special comments from the best first-year player at the 19th Australian Masters Games, Pete William. Welcome, gents. Great night for it.
Hey, boys. Good to see you.
G'day, James. How are you, mate?
Beautiful night we got here to James, don't we?
Yep, I'm going very well, and yes, it's a beautiful night. Bill, I'm sure you'll give us the weather from Saskatoon or wherever a bit later on. But we're here tonight to have a look at the top of the table. Sturt Falcons taking on the 4th place West Torrens Eagles. Nothing separating the two teams on paper. They've played twice this season. Back in round 5, West Torrens defeated Sturt 4-2, and in round 7, Sturt defeated West Torrens 4-3.
Yes, Sturt tonight having a little bit of a change in their lineup tonight. They're missing a few key players, but they will have Abby Weir out and Rachel Tonkin missing. Zali Adams also missing, but some key additions in. Should be a good game.
Jump the gun a little bit. We'll get the key players in a moment. Pete?
Yeah, really looking forward to this. It's going to be a cracking game. We always see these two teams up the top of the ladder, and you know, it's the perfect conditions, perfect time of year to really start your run home for the finals.
Well rehearsed, the commentary team tonight. West Torrens defeated Seacombe 7-0 and Port Adelaide 5-4 since the return from the break, and Sturt had a doubleheader against Hills, demolishing them 13-0 and 11-1. Only 5 points separating these two teams on the ladder, with 9 games to go before finals at the end of March, and 2 of those 9 are against one another. Key players, Bill. Tonight, for me, I reckon the top order is going to cancel each other out for both sides. That's just my say on it. So it might be about what the bottom half are going to do. For me, it could be some of the younger players. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, they're firing. West Torrens got a good lineup. Batting, Sturt's got a good batting lineup, and it's just going to be how they go with the other ones. The pitching duel is going to carry a little bit of weight in this one, possibly too.
Tell us who's caught your eye.
Well, Ollie's pitching for Sturt tonight, and they've got Hannah 2 in at second base for Rachel Tonkin, who's not here tonight. So those could be some key player changes there.
Absolutely. And for the Eagles, Pete?
Yeah, look, obviously very strong infield, as we normally used to see with them. I think the thing for me is looking at that bottom lineup. Tara Lord is a DP. She had a cracking tournament at a couple of nationals. She's come back at the state championships, got herself into a state team of the year. She's been really, really good of late, and I think if she can get that bottom end cracking, that will give the likes of Harris Hood, Casey and Burridge at the top to really push her on her own.
That's it. Well, other games on tonight. Hills Heat taking on Port Adelaide Magpies. We'll bring you some updates throughout the night thanks to MC Sports. Where you got an update for us, Pete?
Last I saw it was 0-0 at the top of the second. There was a pretty close game. Pitching Talia LaRosa for Hills and Liz Engler for Port. So a pretty close game.
Now, we are just going through the 5 warm-up pitches for West Torrens. Steph Trzynski pitching to Amber Hood. Over at first base, Emma Burridge, Jordan Harris at second, Sophie Hoyle at third, Lana Kayser at short, and outfield left to right, Brody Borovnik, Danny Baskai and Jackie Beale. Now, the sun gets tricky this time of year, at this time of night. Sun just shining on one spot on the diamond. That's at the shortstop area. Don't know if you can get that for us, Brandon, or not, but we will see whether or not that holds up play, but looks like we're just about set to go. Steph Trzynski going without the sunnies.
I'm pretty confident we'll be right, James. Lana Kaysley would be filling that shortstop spot, taking the ball over at second at the moment. Glasses up on top of her hat. Not really interested in trying to slow the game up. She looks keen. She's pretty tough, so I think we'll be right to go.
Sarah Tonkin to lead things off for the Sturt Falcons. Let's go with the old Lee Hull prediction. Fellas, what do you think of the scoreline?
I'm going to go West Torrens 2-1, winning in the last innings.
Yeah, I've got West Torrens tonight in a bit of a upset, maybe.
Well, we'll see in 90 minutes' time. Just ready to go. Steph Trzynski to pitch. Sarah Tonkin with bat in hand. First pitch swinging, and Tonkin lifts it to left field into foul territory, just over the head of Brody Borovnik. Who's umpiring tonight's game? thanks to MC Sportswear.
So on play tonight, we have Ian Gray up at first. We have the umpire-in-chief, Steve Wallace-Yarrow, coming off the back of a very hectic state championship umpiring for him. And then obviously Nikki Wong over at third. On the book tonight, we have we have Kay Bendel as the official paper scorer and Marcy Trusinski on I score.
Swing and a miss. That was up and out for strike 2.
Very aggressive start by Sarah Tunkin there, swinging first pitch. It was a good one to go after. We know that with Trusinski gets out in front, she's a little bit tougher to hit, so good strategy.
Gets a nice piece of it on the adjustment and rolls up the leg of Lana Kaiser. So an error from the shortstop from West Torrens sees the dangerous and the speedy Sarah Tonkin. Here's the C-Max replay.
Yeah, looking at the replay there, just took a couple of bounces, probably coming out of the shadows as well. Might have just played a little bit of havoc for Lana, but she looks a bit disappointed in herself and sure she'll fight back.
Abby Kennedy hitting 2 from the left-hander's box. Tonkin gets an aggressive lead. Kennedy leaves a called strike. Sarah Tonkin among the league leaders in stolen bases this season.
West Torrens setting up for the bunt again.
Another called strike. So Kennedy down 0-2, which is going to take the bunt away from the left-hander.
Yeah, key moment early not to get that bunt down. Coach would really like to get that down and move that runner over.
Up and out of the zone. Tonkin, a little pensive at first base, isn't she? She's not her normal aggressive self. She would have stolen by now, usually, I'd say. Strikeout looking, and there's the first out of the ball game, and we've got the first strikeout for Trusinski. So we'll monitor that throughout the night.
Interesting there, we talked in the first at-bat, Sarah Tonkin quite aggressive, swinging hard at early pitches, and we see there we're going for the bunt and then standing looking. So might not have liked the look of it, but unfortunately it was over the plate and in the zone.
Belinda White bats 3 for the Falcons. If you have not heard the name before, it will not take you long to realise that you're looking at an absolute superstar of the game.
Just coming off her 700th game on the weekend, last weekend.
And her first January off as well in 20-something years. Probably more if you count juniors. Actually, probably includes juniors.
How old were you making it?
Yeah. Not quite as old as some.
Someone tells me she qualifies for Masters next year.
Be a handy acquisition for whoever could grab it. Just crushes this to left field, and Brodie Borovnik leaves it behind. So a single to left field, and the error will see both runners advance an extra base. So 2 errors from West Torrens early in the game. Nice shot from Belle White. She just crushed it through to left field.
Yeah, Lana fielding a little bit more centred there with the runner on one, so just opened up the gap and Belle White placed it through nicely.
Maddie Cameron with 2 runners in scoring position. High for a ball, not bad pitching from Trusinski when you think about it, knowing that Cameron's a hard ball hitter, first ball hitter.
Yeah, Sturt's come out actually swinging very early on and aggressive cuts, but you're right, Maddie Cameron's first pitch swinger. Steph knows that. Tries to get her chase up high.
Inside is jammed. Lana Kaiser calls out the second base player in Harris for the second out. Cheap out for the Eagles, you'd say there. They'll be happy with that.
They'll be absolutely stoked with that, with the runner on 2 and 3 to get it down now to 2 out. That ball, anything going out towards the outfield, was going to score 1, if not 2, with Belle White's leg speed. So important out to hopefully now they'll be looking to try and finish this inning off and hold the runners at bay.
2-out courtesy runner for the catcher, Sarah Tonkin. We see Abby Kennedy come in to run. Riley Moore amongst the league leaders in RBIs and leads the Falcons in RBIs. Watches that one through for a called strike. Was a handy player for the SA team during the under-23 tournament, and then that was in December. Then in January went away with the under-16 girls state team as the assistant coach.
Yeah, good development opportunity for her, Reggie, going away and taking someone with her to try to develop the future coaches in the sport with people with youth, obviously youth, and obviously still playing at a high level in our state. It's important to give them the opportunities to develop and be our future of our coaching.
Krasinski trying to paint that edge.
A good pitcher's pitch there.
I think she thought she might have had it too, but
yeah, she wanted it, definitely.
The grin on her face at the end of it.
Just missing on the inside this time around. So Krasinski just going from one edge to the other, and Riley Moore good enough to stay off. 2-2 count. That one is there for a called strike. So Riley Moore living on the edge as Steph Trzynski looking for the edge, gets her second strikeout. And interestingly enough, both strikeouts in that inning were strikeouts watching. Yeah,
she's a phenomenal pitcher. We know what she's capable of. Didn't do a lot of pitching in the first half of the season. Was always expected to sort of come back in the back end of the season. Again, another one didn't play away at the January tournaments this year. So she's firing on all cylinders, and she's going to be an absolutely phenomenal person for West Torrens in the middle for the back end of the year.
Bonus to have her all rested up and come in and just pitch the tail end and into the playoffs. Yeah.
Handy players on the bench tonight as well. Talia Sutton and Caitlin Holt. They all played in the state championships, and Talia Sutton, along with Tara Lord, both got country or state championship team of the year nods.
Yeah, Talia is one of the pitchers of the tournament, which was very good. I did see her pitch a few games, and she looked very good.
Yeah, she's one that we've definitely got a future with as well, and her sister Sienna, both very good pitchers. Obviously Sienna a little bit younger, but Talia went away with the 18s, was a little bit injured, so probably didn't pitch as much as she would have normally, but she's come back firing and ready to go for the back end of the season.
Now, thanks to Maple Ridge Maple Syrup,
BC.
Right, can you take us around the diamond?
Take you around the diamond. Here we have for Sturt, we have pitching is Ollie Durham, the young number 35 there. Sarah Tonkins, our catcher. Riley Moore at first base. Hannah 2 at second. Third base is Jordan Lee. Belle White at shortstop. And left field, Lauren Jury. Center field, Maddie Cameron. In right field, Abby Kennedy.
Ollie Durham, of course, superstar for our under-16s, won the National Pitching Award at that championship and then backed it up a couple of weeks later in the other side of the country in Perth and pitched for the under-18 team too.
Yeah. Pitched well as well. Like, the reports coming back from that was that she did a phenomenal job. So exciting young talent, which is great. I mean, to be able to go to the 16s and then be standing here and pitching to West Torrens at Premier League is pretty good for the future of her.
To be young and strong and healthy. Yeah, she definitely can turn it over.
Jordan Harris leading off for the West Torrens Eagles. Watching the first one down low for a ball. These two teams set to face off again in round 16 for their fourth and final time before finals. High for a ball, and we'll probably touch on the ladder a little later on as the game settles in, and big difference between the points for the top four and then the bottom three. Harris fouls off a 2-0 count to go to 2-1. The ladder is missing the seventh team, isn't it? Made you look, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm having a look on the top four and then the bottom three, but I'm only seeing 6 teams on your ladder you're giving me, James. You told me these notes were up to scratch.
My notes are normally impeccable. as Harris leaves the outside edge alone for 3-1.
That sun factor has pretty much died off now for everybody but Maddie Cameron in center. Has just got a little bit of sun in their eyes out there.
Base on balls for Harris, and Bill, you beat me to the punch. The full infield was gone by the end of the West Torrens Eagles, and now it's just that one little gap out at centre field. Amber Hood to the plate with Harris on first, so both lead-offs getting aboard. Called strike on the outside edge. First and third down and tight. Jordan Lee comes in to field it. Hood pretty quick. May have beaten the throw, and it does get away from Hannah too, covering first. Harris will get to third on the overthrow. I'm going to say infield single.
I'm going to say it's a bunt single to 5, and the extra base to Jordan Harris on the wild.
Yeah, that was safe. She was safely there.
Very quick down the line there.
I'm looking to my left, and I can see the green pen, who both agree. So a single to 5, and then the wild throw for Harris to get to 3 runners on 1-3 with Lana Kayser. First pitch swinging will go to the shortstop in white. Harris takes off to slide on the outside of the plate. Safe called from Ian Gray. So Belinda White had plenty of time to make the out. Harris took off on the throw. Let's have a look at the C-Max replay.
Yeah, pretty fast movement there. Harris really holding her spot over at third. As soon as that throw was made, she was off. She slid in around. Helmet, as usual, comes sliding off when she gets home. We see on the replay here, watching it, just sort of watching. As soon as the throw's gone, she's off, head straight for that plate, getting out wide to get around the catcher. Ball came in, she just got her fingers on the plate in time.
Yeah, the throw was just to the little bit to the right of the catcher, Bill.
Yeah, that was a great play defensively. Ball there on the money, but Jordan with that diving around, and you watch her hand just reach in just in time. Didn't give anything to be tagged. That's a fantastic...
Yeah, I think the important thing there, she saw, obviously she was moving out wide to get around the catcher, but the throw, as you said, James, came probably a bit more too much down the line and not to the left of Sarah, which meant that the tag had to come around too far. Hands just snicked the plate on the way through.
Emma Burridge up to bat now, has seen a couple of pitches. Error off the glove of Belinda White. Hood will score. So Hood advanced to third on the Lana Kayser ground ball. Here's the C-Max replay for Emma Burridge. She will get aboard. Belinda White playing inside the line for the runner on third.
Yeah, playing inside. She's got an awkward facing bounce, and it was curving a little bit with probably a bit of the breeze. Hard hit into the ground, got up over Ollie Durham, and then just curved a little bit towards her, which probably put her a bit off with the bounce, and just an awkward take and very rare error.
Danny Baskai, the new hitter, just some running repairs on the helmet, I think. And that'll give us a little bit of time to go back and see what happened with the Belinda White play. Lana Kayser ground ball. Belinda White didn't check the runner at third. Well, I found that interesting. She just backed her arm. She may have thought that the ball going straight to her would have stopped the runner from going.
Yeah, she really didn't, but just made a quick play, and by getting the ball over quick like she did, it gave Riley time to make that quick transfer and throw home, but obviously not in time.
Baskai gets the ball first up. What was that strike? I missed it. I was looking down.
I think I heard a strike call. Just thinking about it though, like in hindsight, when you look at it now, she got the out at first at least. Now, if they'd not played that and they'd held the runners, it would have been loaded bases. The next play gets a double, probably scores 2 runs anyway, and you're still at none out. So, in hindsight, it was the right play.
I think also, too, the ball making their move towards the middle, it's tougher to look back and check, whereas you just go keep your momentum going, make that play. Anything that would have hit towards third base side, you probably would have checked back.
Tonkin setting up way outside for that one on top in the count. Baskai leaves it. Burridge, the runner at first. And Baskai protecting the outside edge. Now we can go to Emma Burridge's shot. Up the middle, hit it hard into the ground. That's probably a good place to go if you're going to bat here on this rocky, hard surface here at West Beach.
Yeah, it is. We've seen a lot of them where they get smacked into the ground. Some take lower bounces, some take harder bounces. Just depends on where the ball hits into the ground. And it's tricky, as you said, Belle White playing in front of the line with the runner over there. So, you know, she's put herself in a position that was always going to be awkward and relied on a really good bounce. Like we saw Sophie Roberts last week getting 2 or 3 really nice bounces up at chest height. That one was a bit hard to take on the run.
Baskai gets herself right back into the count. 3-2, Emma Burridge on 1 with 1 out. High for a ball and a base on ball. So West Torrens off to a bit of a flyer. Second walk of the inning. There's been a hit and an error. Lana Kaiser, the only batter to get out, but she's got an RBI. So every batter contributing in the lineup 1 to 5 to this point.
Yeah, they've all played their part so far. Obviously, very good turn of bat from Jordan Harris. The really strong bat from Amber Hood to get one down and get to first. As you said, Lana Kaiser played her play, and then a little bit of an error at the next one, and then another walk. So they've played themselves nicely into it.
Steph Drzezinski to help herself out here. And with runners in scoring position.
Off the back of that, Sturt were left 2 runners in scoring positions in the first inning. So if they'd brought them home, it'd be at a level ball game. But instead, West Torrens got the jump.
I just got to say, too, that aside from Lana, who was first pitch swinging there, most of West Torrens players are actually taking a few pitches and making Ollie throw.
Yeah, it's a good point. Drzezinski has been patient to this point. And we'll go behind in the count 1-2. Maybe Drzezinski thought that might have been a little high.
Smart pitcher, though. You don't say too much to the catcher, because at some stage you've got to get yourself back in the middle and throw him over as well.
Holds her hands back and tries to drive it off as it field.
I wonder if some of these West Torrens are sitting on the pitcher and just looking a little bit early. They wouldn't have seen a lot of her. I wouldn't have thought. They would have seen a little bit, but not a lot of her, with the likes of Fidge and Adams having pitched most of probably Sturt's games. So with only 1 game earlier this season, they probably haven't seen a lot of Ollie.
Outside edge for a ball.
The other thing is early
2-2.
indications would say that she's not throwing a lot of strikes. She's throwing probably more around the plate, so you could probably sit on 1 or 2 and might go your way.
Gets a fair bit of this one, but straight to the glove of Maddie Cameron. Throws it hard to the cutoff in Belinda White, and runners hold still. So 2 out now.
Yeah, good out there by Sturt again. You're going to hold runners at 1 and 2. It's harder to get them home now. Just got under a lower one there, and probably just didn't have the pace coming onto the bat that she would have liked.
Making Belle White work a bit there at shortstop.
With the throw to the cutoff. Sure, she would have given her a friendly smile. And that replay, thank you to CMAX Clinical Research. If you want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time, log on to cmax.com.au. This is Sophie Hoyle up to bat with 2 out, 2 runners on. Hope for a ball.
The breeze just popping up a little bit to what it was earlier as well. Now the sun's sort of gone out of face, so outfielders might find some tricky ball movement a little bit later to those fly balls.
Outside for a ball. Yeah, it's the first time I've put a hoodie on for the month, I think.
It's blowing in hard from the south tonight, so that always makes it cooler down here.
Even that day we got 40 mil of rain. I was still in a t-shirt. It was still quite warm.
That was a warm day, yes.
And base on balls for Sophie Hoyle. 3rd walk of the inning, which will load the bases. 2 runs have scored. Tara Lord comes to the plate. Now, these 2 were teammates under 16 and under 18. Yeah, getting the nod.
Yeah, correct. And both of them know each other a fair bit. She would have seen a bit of Tara Law would have seen a bit of Ollie as well in those trials and trainings that they've had But they probably would have played against each other a bit at these grade levels coming through as well, so they probably know each other a bit more than the other players on the team. Tara's been hitting it pretty well of late as well, so, you know, she can hit a ball deep to the outfield if needed.
Tara's a good line drive hitter, gets good contact, seems to get the bat through the zone very well. Right center, I think, is her power.
Pretty tall as well. She towers over Sarah Tonkin.
And caught the other day in the state championship grand final. She was catching, so quite a tall catcher.
Goes first pitch, Bill.
In saying that, you know, nothing against tall people catching, but generally it's the shorter ones who are able to move that little bit quicker around. But she was pretty agile in there, so she didn't have any faults from what I saw the other day.
She's got a very strong throwing arm, played shortstop there too. She's also played the outfield. She does tonight, right? Yep. Oh, DP tonight.
That one just under the zone. 1-1. Watching that one cross over the outside edge of the plate. 1 and 2 with 2 out. Loaded bases, bottom of the first, and West Torrens have already scored 2. Jackie Beale, the on-deck batter. Low for a ball, gets away from Tonkin. Emma Burridge will score. Baskai to third. Hoyle to second. And West Torrens score a third.
Yeah, that one just getting low and inside and past Sarah Tonkin. Not much gets past there. She sort of shaped out quite right of the plate. And the ball came back in a bit closer to it. It was probably low in the zone. Just snuck through off the white chalk.
There's a close one to take there. Showing good nerve.
Yeah, besides the swing of the first pitch, she's been very watchful here to get to a full count. Is that a hit by pitch or is that a... Oh, Baskai just... Hoyle's got to try and take on the throw. Slides into slide into home. I had my eye on second because Tara Lord moves over to 2. So on a wild pitch, 2-run scores and the batter moves across to second. It's out to 5-0.
Yeah, wild pitch, but I'm with you. I thought I saw possibly clip a foot. Maybe she got out of there just in time.
I think you'll find that she's jumped her front foot up and it's just the ball hitting the ground in front of her.
Still well, because it's actually more beneficial not getting hit by a pitch on that one. So yeah,
she wasn't shaking the foot off. So, and of course the throw coming in, unfortunately, hitting Danny Baskai on the way through, which meant the ball then came back to the fence where it originally come from, and the next runner scoots through and behind.
And no fault of Baskai either. She was just running over the plate. So no harm or foul. Jackie Beale comes to the box, the master of the reformer, Jackie Beale, hitting 9 for West Torrens. First pitch swinging. There's 2 out just on the an 0-1 count. Well, I wasn't expecting this. We were coming to the game that seemed like there was a little bit of hype to it, wasn't there? West Torrens versus Sturt Falcons game.
Yeah, I don't really think Ollie's really settled in the middle yet. The runs haven't come from big hitting or anything like that. They've just come from some couple of little errors and odd throws from Sturt, which is very, very unusual for them. And I think they're just sort of feeling a little bit at the moment. They'll settle down and find their rhythm, and they've got to hope that West Torrens don't do too much damage in the meantime. I wouldn't write them off.
Yeah, we saw Port Adelaide score 4 against Trzynski last week. That may be the highest scoring game against her in a long time. So Sturt needs 6 to win from this point. That's not giving up any more runs either.
And just a moment ago, you see Belle White come over, give her a bit of a smile, trying to get her to relax and sort of, keep going.
Drags that one straight back to Ollie Durham, who fields well and makes the 3rd out. So the Sturt Falcons struggled a little bit maybe. There was an error in there and then a bit of a mess with that wild pitch or pass ball that saw the last 2 runs cross the plate, but West Torrens out to a fast start, 5-run first inning.
A little bit of red on the card, which, as I said, is very unusual for Sturt. They don't make much in the way of errors, especially in the infield. But, you know, a young pitcher in the middle, probably feeling the pressure of coming up against quite a quality lineup in West Torrens. She probably hasn't done a lot of pitching since the 18s, and she's come off a couple of weeks of pitching. So, you know, she'll find her rhythm, as I said, and she's a young kid. She'll take a lot of learning from that, and she's got some pretty good people around there to help her. But as far as the team goes, they've got to start putting bat on ball as well and not leaving them out there.
Yeah, the other side of that coin is now with a 5-run lead for Trzynski, she can sort of relax and not feel the pressure and go after these batters a little bit.
Yeah, she's not one you want getting too comfortable out there, because she's already got 2 strikeouts in the match, which is a pretty handy start against Sturt in the top of their order.
The other game tonight, Hills Heat taking on Port Adelaide Magpies. We'll get you an update for that as soon as we can. But this Saturday, Bill, Seacombe Tigers take on the flying Glenelg Rebels. Port Adelaide take on Walkerville in a double-header live stream game right here on Space Quake Sports. Will be between the West Torrens Eagles and the Hills Heat. Lauren Jury is the batter for the Falcons, a called strike. And Bill, how do you like the Tigers' chances this weekend against the Rebels?
Well, very optimistic. I think we've been playing pretty good ball. Even the loss we just had, I thought they played well. They gave themselves a chance at it. I know Glenelg.
And you beat them last time you played them.
We did beat them last time out on Diamond 2. We hit well against them, and so we're coming into that one with sort of a must-win. We really have to beat Glenelg and West Torrens if we want any shot of moving up into the 4.
Yeah, to stay in touch with the 4. That's a good way of looking at it. So you'd say season on the line for the Tigers this Saturday as Trzynski goes ahead in the count 1-2. You got a score update thanks to MC Sportswear?
Yeah, it's over on the back diamond. It was pretty much a stalemate for the first 3 innings at 0-all. As we just see Lauren Drury striking out for the 3rd strikeout of the innings, all watching at this stage for, 3rd strikeout of the match for Steph Trzynski, and all watching at this stage. So Port Adelaide then put 2 runs on in the top of the 4th with hits to Marcelino, Maslin and Edwards. So they've done kind of handy at this stage. A couple of errors from Hills are probably what's the difference between the game. But aside from that, Liz Engler pitching nicely as well.
Ollie Durham, bat in hand, swing and a miss on the first pitch.
Good swing there by Ollie. Doesn't cheat herself. Swings pretty well.
0-2 count. Trzynski gets the signal she wants with a little smile. And we'll get Durham out swinging. So 4th strikeout for Trzynski. 2 up, 2 down in the inning.
Looking really comfortable out there. It was a bit like when Jade was pitching the other night. She just seemed to get back onto the plate and just go again, and it didn't look like anything was uncomfortable or distressing her, and that's exactly what Steph's doing now. She just gets the pitch over, ball back, gets back, goes again, and they're just hitting the spots.
Jordan Lee, the hitter for the Falcons, swing on the first one. Jordan Lee has represented South Australia at every level up to the under-23s, and haven't really seen a lot of her the last season and a half. But hasn't forgot how to swing the bat. Swings hard for the first 2 pitches, 0-2 count.
Looking pretty comfortable over on the West Torrens bench in the background of the production tonight.
Izzy
There's snakes over there, Izzy Benedictson, so...
That was just in the background of the screen. You can see her there, just having
just chewing away on a nice red snake she pulled out of the lollybox. So things must be comfortable over there.
Well, look, I credit to West Torrens and the A-grade team and having her included whenever they can, since she's had knee reconstruction. To be part of the team, even though she's not playing, it's very beneficial, and we do appreciate that.
Yeah, she's on the screen, pen in hand. She's doing some work tonight as well, so I'm assuming it's not any
homework
at all.
No. Oh, so she did get some math today, she said.
Jordan Lee fouls this one up off and stays alive in the count. How long are we expecting before we see Benedictson again? Izzy Benedictson?
It would be next season. I think she also plays women's AFL for Eagles West Torrens. And
Lee gets a piece of this, fouls to the right side.
And if the year rehab goes well, she'll be ready for sort of the start of both softball season and then into footy season. They kind of overlap a little bit with the women's game.
How did she do the night?
It was in a grand final for St. Michael's school footy. Just kind of a quick turn.
So just a word for those aspiring AFL players that you don't see many knee reconstructions in softball. Strikeout swinging. So Trzynski strikes out the side. That's my dig at the biggest sport in the country. Well, she goes on her merry way to 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, and the Falcons have yet to get through their lineup, whereas West Torrens will start the bottom half of the second inning with the lead-off Jordan Harris.
Yeah, dangerous for Sturt here to be able to retire them 3 up, 3 down like that. Still haven't got through the lineup, and we're back to batters who have just seen this picture already. You know, they're going to have to fight back pretty hard here. They can't really allow West Torrens to get too much more of a lead, so it'll have to be a pretty good fight back. But hopefully Ollie's had some words of wisdom from the bench, and no doubt she'll start finding her zones that she needs to get. Always a difficult task pitching to West Torrens.
I would say if backup pitching for them would be Riley Moore tonight. I'm just looking through their lineup. I know Jordan Lee
saw a woman
pitched in B-grade, but Riley did warm up here, yes, for a bit. That's right. So.
And Bill, you talk about one daughter who's injured. The other daughter, did I see during the state championship, following in your footsteps and doing some coaching of the under-12s?
Yeah, she did. I think she did quite well and enjoyed it from what she told me. The under-12s report were undefeated all the way through and got to the final and got pipped by CDSA, I think it was. Don't know a lot about it. She pitcher by chance at all? Or? No. Look, they've all at some point in the junior had a go at pitching. Only Izzy sort of had success.
She, of course, with the mod ball set up, once there's 3 balls on the batter, the coach comes in to do some pitching, and I think she was ready to hand the ball back to the under-12 pitcher at some stage, because some of her pitches were hitting the back net on the full.
Well, I saw her pitch a few that got some outs, which is not advantageous because it's your player.
But no, she did really well. I was out there umpiring a bit when she was coaching, and the way she was talking to the players and explaining things was exactly what that grade's about.
Jordan Harris is the leader for the Eagles. She's on a 1-1 count. Off the end of the bat, it dribbles over to Durham, and she's able to play that comfortably. Didn't panic with the speedy Harris, and it will be a ground out to the pitcher. Yeah,
well played there by Ollie, because if any player is going to get to first off a hit like that, it's going to be Jordan with her speed. So she wasn't far off either. She just got down, head down going. Ollie got picked up nicely and got the throw away quickly and just beat her by probably half a strike.
Yeah, half a step.
Good start to Sturt though.
Amber Hood had the safe bunt, her first turn up to bat. Well placed bunt to the left side of the diamond. Goes hard at this one, fouls it off.
Just noticing a lot of the pitches from Ollie tonight, they're low, quite low, the ones that she's hit, missing the bottom of the zone more than anything. So I don't know if that's part of the plan to try and get them low in the box to West Torrens, or whether that's just where she's hitting at the moment, but a lot going low.
Yeah, that's a good call. Having it down like that, get a lot of ground balls. You know.
Yeah, not easy to lift a low pitch.
No, and you get Bell White at shortstop, why not? That's a good game plan. But yeah, you're right. She doesn't miss too high in the zone too often. But that went off the plate though, so.
Yeah, that was wide. That wasn't high.
Bit of both, maybe. 3-1 for Amber Hood. A little late on that, but
ooh, I think our cameraman down the first baseline might have almost got a hand on that one.
Be a nice replay if he's got one coming straight at his camera lens.
Very close.
I know producer Brandon, I could hear him checking in on his camera operator. Full count. Ground ball back to Durham. 3 plays in a row for Durham now. And she's got her 3 assists.
Yeah, that was good again there by Ollie. Got down low to a very hard hit ball back here, as we see on the C-Max replay. As we see Emma doing a lot, shake for the bunt, then hits that ball back very hard down at the left shin. Got down quick, got the ball and got the throw over. And now it's back on West Torrens now, which is what is a good comeback from Sturt to see here. They're down to their third batter in the lineup. They're 2 out. No one on this time for Lana, so...
Lana Kayser just sucking up to the umpire there, cleaning off the plate for him. And Durham obliging with one right down the middle.
Well, you clean the plate off. She could see it better. She threw it right over it.
An 0-1 pitch for Kayser. She just fouls it off to the right side. 0-2 now. Kayser grounded out to White in the first inning, but the run crossed the plate on that play. So she has an RBI in the stats column. 0-2 with 2 out here in the bottom of the second. And another foul on the outside edge of the plate, staying alive.
You talked about wiping the plate. I saw it last year in a game. Tyler Adslin for the Hills wiped the plate, quickly put the hand up to say sorry to Damien McCauley. And when I asked later on why they were so quick in doing that, it's because in America you get tossed from the game if you wipe the plate.
Nice pitch from Durham. Yeah, I'd say that there's 2 interpretations of it. One, it's the batter just having a little bit of OCD. You know, you want the umpire to see the plate, so they call it fairly. But if the umpire were to miss a call or to get it wrong and then you wipe the plate, I think you'd get the same treatment here in Australia, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, most
This
definitely.
was before a pitch was pitched.
Oh, yeah?
Is that right? Well, that would be interesting. 2-2 for Kayser. Pulls this one. It's going to land in the gap. Maybe off the end of the handle, Bill.
Yeah, look, good defensive hitting by Lana. I like the couple she fouled off to the right side there, just staying in the count. And then she gets one, and she didn't try and overpower it. Just got bad on it. Yeah, maybe off the handle, but just enough. Yeah, just kept her hands in and just enough to land it in there. And
oh, you'll take it.
yeah, you take it, definitely.
I think you're underestimating it. I think it was just a well-positioned hit.
Well-placed hit from Lana Kayser. So she's aboard with Emma Burridge up to bat. She had a nice hard hit up the middle last time, just off the glove of Belinda White, who was fielding inside the line. Outside edge.
Yeah, you see Bell's kind of shading the second base. I mean, obviously to keep Lana on at first, but also just expecting Burridge probably middle to right side.
Called strike as Burridge sees a couple, and she's got Danny Baskai to follow her in the on-deck circle. Drives it foul. Nice piece of the ball. We haven't seen too many hard shots here from West Torrens. They've been getting the job done through some disciplined batting, going deep into the count. We saw 4 walks in the first inning and only 2 hits. So Burridge, you'd say, has hit them as hard as anyone so far in this game.
Yeah, it's good team batting. It's a good strategy to not just go up there hacking, and you can see they're just swinging late. They just keep looking for their pitch, and maybe one will get through.
Again, Burridge going right side, fouling it off, staying alive and looking dangerous.
Interesting in the, we talk about what's going on with the pitching and everything from Sturt, but there's only been the bunt and that one hit this innings. The rest have been walks or errors that have gone. So, you'd say an error should have been fielded in and out somewhere. So, therefore, they're probably not getting a hold of her as much as we think.
Good take from Ollie Durham. The last 4 outs and all 3 of this inning have been a 1-3, and Ollie Durham has pitched a pretty good inning, I would suggest, for her Falcons in the second.
Yeah, good comeback there from what was the first innings where a few runs got over the plate. They've locked them away, which they needed to do, and now they've got to turn around with the bottom of the lineup, as we spoke in the warm-up. You know, the bottom of the lineup for Sturt's going to have to put a couple on base now, so the top can come around.
The C-Max replay, and if you want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time, log on to cmax.com.au.
Yeah, I was just going to say, with the first 2 right back to Ollie, and almost a quick 1-2-3 inning that they needed after that first one. Obviously, Lana gets on with that hit, a well-placed hit, but and then got the 3rd out. So it's exactly what Sturt needed there to get themselves back in the game and give themselves a shot.
This Saturday, the big game that will be on the live stream is West Torrens versus the Hills Heat. Just checking my notes to make sure I'm right there. And the big man, Anthony Weatherstone's going to be on the mic. He's got a couple of big name guests to join him. I won't steal his thunder and give it away. He can do so on the Bar 66 or Red Stars Cafe Facebook page. Check it out. He likes to tell you who's going to be on the mic on his weekly updates. Missed out again, by the way, in the Red Stars shout-outs for the state championships.
He tells me he's sitting home tonight with his feet up on the couch. Little Archie, his pup, next to him, and he's going to be watching the game. So hello, Anthony, at home. I hope you're enjoying a well-deserved night off from softball.
102, hitting 9 for the Falcons. And we'll turn it back around to the top for Sarah Tonkin. Ground ball to short. Kaiser comes to get it, fires it across to Burridge for the first out.
Yeah, routine play there for Lana. Not a lot of speed on the hit. It came up nicely to the right in the bread basket for her to get that. And then, of course, that arm of hers. Very hard to beat.
Yeah. A couple of looks on the C-Max replay. Here's Tonkin. Swung at her first 2 pitches in her first at-bat. This time leaving that one, but called strike. Absolute outstanding ghillie shield. Sarah Tonkin, lights out batting. Will bring a lot of confidence into the back half of this season, as you'd probably say the Stars leader in their batting averages.
It's really interesting, the Stars batting over there in this, because in the last tournament, because the first round that they played, her numbers were incredible with the bat. She was hitting them everywhere. The second time she came up against teams, she wasn't as good, and that probably brought her numbers down. But then I don't know how they work it with stats, because the second round was wiped from the leaderboard. Does that mean they wiped those games from the stats as well? Because if they did, her stats were up there with the best in the first round. Yeah. But then all of a sudden, the winner, I reckon, had what was a lower score than her with the batting average at the end of the 2 rounds.
Tamika Whitefield was like 600.
Yeah, she wasn't far off Sarah Tonkin with the first round.
Smashes it up the middle. And she gets her team a base runner and her first hit of the game. Pete, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you on that. I think Whitefield's numbers were astronomical, and Sarah Tonkin did on the C-Max replay, just showing her where's and a single up the middle. Here's Abby Kennedy up to bat. Yeah, I think Whitefield's numbers were...
don't get me wrong, Whitefield's numbers were phenomenal, but again, I don't know what she was like in the first round around, but I mean, to carry it over an entire week like she did with their numbers, it's just deserved of what all the awards she won.
Swing and a miss for Kennedy. Look, if we're going to talk into it, my biased opinion for Megan Faramo winning the pitching award may have ripped off Kaya Parnaby, in my opinion, but the Stars, when they faced Faramo, was in the second round, lit her up 10 hits or something in the game, so and 4 earned runs when they said that she had an ERA of 0, so that surprised me. But again, I'm not there. I'm not part of the award
And I think the stats all comes down to the score, and we all watch, and you know, just these games ourselves, we look and see, would that be an error, would that be a safe hit, and ultimately our opinion doesn't really matter.
Tonkin takes off on the pitch, a strike is called. She slides in safely as Kaiser does well to pick up a bouncing ball.
Great
look
jump
at the
here.
C-Max replay. Kennedy covers up well.
Yeah, quick moving, she was well and truly off and on her bike early there. As you said, Kennedy covering well. Throw just a little bit to the right, but good pick up by Lana, but Sarah was always getting there.
Sarah Tonkin fast at the best of times, but she's got the tailwind tonight too, blowing in from right field. Give her a little extra kilometers per hour.
Yeah, it is a little bit blustery out there on the diamond tonight. You might not be able to tell, but
Might be a tailwind, but it might need to be low to the ground.
Kennedy backs away from an inside pitch and gets herself a base on balls to bring up Belinda White with 2 runners aboard. And, well, if you want to see a batter that's got a wind in their favour, it's Belinda White. If you don't want to see a batter with the advantage, it's Belinda White.
Oh, the next 2 batters capable of putting a ball over the fence comfortably, so good time to have 2 runners on for Sturt, trying to close that gap back down into the 5-0 lead.
Strike called. That's a very good pitch from Trzynski, the bottom corner of the zone.
Kept it away from her too, so she couldn't pull it.
We're all watching with anticipation as Belinda White fouls that one off and goes behind the count 0-2.
Yeah, battle of 2 champions out here. These 2 have formed part of the Stars lineup for a number of years and both missing from it this year, but it's good to see them on action here.
Both Aussie Spirit Cap players, both played internationally, overseas. Mouth-watering lineup, match-up here. Best on best as Trzynski just trying to work that outside edge, maybe a little setup as she's gone outside all 3 pitches so far. Trying to get a nibble.
Bell White being very patient at the moment, looking at them.
1-2 with 2 runners aboard. Just the one out for the Falcons. And White slams a high ball out to the left side. It's foul by a long way, but she's hit it hard.
Committed to hit that one. That was almost in her ear.
Rolling out the West Beach Road as we speak. Still 1-2 count. Trzynski wins the battle for the 2nd out of the inning. It's her 6th strikeout of the game. Maddie Cameron now. So don't rest or relax now, Steph Trzynski, because it's Maddie Cameron with 2 out. We see a speed-up runner come in for the catcher. Did someone get the number?
Yeah, that was Ashlyn
Mansfield. Yeah.
Change up first pitch for Trzynski. Done her homework on Cameron, who has not swung first pitch tonight.
I know it's early in the game reasonably, but this is really a key moment for Sturt. You really want to come through and get at least a hit here and score a run or 2.
Just off the end of the bat, it's going to make Hazel work. She has to hustle in, throw on the run, and Emma Burridge takes the ball on a 6-3 ground ball. Couple of plays for Kaiser in the inning, and although the Falcons threaten with 2 runners aboard, they're able to retire White and Cameron. That ball came off the end of the bat, Bill, on the C-Max replay.
Little squib there. It looked like it could have given some trouble, maybe a little spin, but you can see it tracked pretty straight. Didn't take a left turn or anything like that. Trzynski lets it go, which is good, and lets your shortstop play it. Sometimes those ones up the middle and the pitcher reaches out for it and get a little deflection, they can go awry for you.
And an update on the score out over the back. It's the top of the 6th inning.
Thanks to MC Sportswear.
Sorry, thanks to MC Sportswear. The score out the back, we're at an hour and 21 out over the back there at the moment. Port Adelaide 4-0 up in the top of the 6th. Port Adelaide getting a bit of working around there in the pitching circle. Liz Angler having to have so far pitched about around the 85 pitches to Hills. So Hills making the most of their turns at bat. But in saying that, she has also cleaned up a few strikeouts with 6 for the match. On the other side, Talia LaRose is only down around the 66 pitches at the moment, but has taken herself 3 strikeouts as well. So it's a pretty close game in the pitching circle, but the batting is doing the stronger work for Port at the moment.
Bill, your Seacombe Tigers face Port Adelaide in round 16. You play them again in the back half of the year?
I think we got one more with them. Could be 2. I think it's one more. One more with them.
One more. Okay, so how do you... I'm going to ask you in a second on what you think of the start to the back half of the season so far in 2024 as Danny Baskai leads things off here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, the home half. They've dropped 2 games on their return from 2024, Port Adelaide.
Yeah, a couple of those quite surprising. I mean, they were out
both
front.
by a run.
Yeah, by a run. One looked like they had it handled. That was the comeback from Glenelg against them. And then the one they dropped after that was that West Torrens?
Yeah, West Torrens, yeah. So Port Adelaide lost 3 games so far this season, once each against the other top 4 teams. One's from Sturt, one's from Glenelg, and one's from West Torrens. But they do have 2 wins over West Torrens.
Yeah, so they've kind of had an opportunity to move into 1st overall, but they've stayed pretty solid there in 2nd. And but now Glenelg only a point behind. Glenelg and West Torrens not far behind either. The win tonight will help for Port Adelaide. I've called that a little soon.
Yeah, well, 4-0 up with only about 15 minutes to go or whatever, so or 5 or 6 minutes to go. So they'll go equal on points with Sturt if they win this game. Now, that's not including this game between West Torrens and Sturt, and they'll go 3 points clear of Glenelg, who are in 3rd.
Right, and coming in tonight, they're both equal on runs against, aren't they? So,
is that right? Yeah, 30 runs against. So runs against are going to count towards the end of the back half of the season as Danny Baskai gets her 2nd walk of the night. Rival Brothers Roasters, the best coffee in West Beach, all throughout the state championships.
Yeah, faithful patron is there every time it's here down at the van set up down at West Beach.
Durham goes off speed first pitch against Trzynski.
Talking about the run home, Bill, the interesting thing for you is the fact that you've got quite a large number of runs against means you've basically just got to win. You've got no option but to hope you can get in on runs against. You've got to win, 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 win. The difference being you've got 3 games less than Glenelg, who they're potentially the ones that might struggle a little bit with a couple of injuries that have hit them lately. I believe Gemma Cochran got hit last week, busted wrist, I believe, and all plastered up. So that's her probably done for the season. You look at that, you know, Glenelg got the big game against the Hills up in a couple of weeks up in the CFS round. So
Trzynski hits the ball to shortstop, playing the lead runner. Hannah 2 will force the runner out at 2nd. Bill, did you see what I saw then?
I did, and it's only in when a player actually goes back to touch the base the 2nd time
that you wonder. Yeah,
that you wonder.
So Trzynski's the runner on 1st now with 1 out. Be a fielder's choice. 6-3 is the force out for the 1st out. Here's Sophie Hoyle, who got to walk her 1st time. Gee, when Durham lets them go, she's got a bit of whip to her, doesn't she?
She sure does.
Yeah, she's really started to settle in there now after that 1st innings and hitting her spots, which is what we thought she needed to do. So,
I mean, she's very slight, but she's growing a bit. She's gotten quite tall, getting tall, and her arms are very long. Great levers, so she gets good whip on that ball.
Our man Anthony Weatherstone onto us here, James. You want to let him know?
Don't encourage listeners to text us during the game. He should know better. No, Gemma Cochrane is one of our special guests going to be joining the broadcast. He has given us the all clear, Pete, to announce it. And maybe we'll get an update on her injury. But you mentioned a big out for Glenelg. Here's Hoyle leaving that outside edge alone with a 1-2 count.
And I think it's Caitlin Carroll they've only got back not long ago from being injured earlier in the year, getting hit by a pitch as well.
Yeah,
so
very similar injury.
They've battled hard to be where they are, and they're probably lucky they've played a lot of those games early in the season when they had both those players to get up to the ladder where they are, because, Caitlin Carroll and Gemma Cochrane are both two very strong parts in their batting lineup.
I agree. Yeah, when we won the game against them last, that became kind of our focus. We were hoping we could get some wins against them, and others would get some wins and bring them down the ladder.
Hoyle ground ball to Belinda White at shortstop, who'll try and make the double herself. A big punch out from Wallace Yarrow at first, and so a good inning defensively for the Falcons. Belinda White says, "No worries, Hannah, I got this one." Fires it across on the C-Max replay if you want to advance.
We've seen Bell make that play so many times. Take it herself, step on the bag, throw all in one, and put it right on the money. That's a great play.
Yeah, she reads the ball so well, and she's able to pick up the ball, step on second, throw all in one motion, and force the out. So, and thanks to C-Max for their replay. If you want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time, log on to cmax.com.au. You hear them on the Triple M network advertising, and all the current trials that you can go and look on the website, and you get paid handsomely for your time. And we're looking forward to getting a little bit more from C-Max for the back half of the year. They're going to enlighten us with some of the myths and bust some myths about what it is to do a clinical trial as well. So, but if you want to check it out, log on to cmax.com.au.
Yeah, and it's important, obviously, our community, these people donating very, very handsomely to the sport to be able to put on things like this production and other opportunities that will provide the sport with opportunities to develop high performance or develop participation and that sort of stuff. So it's important our community get behind the sponsors that we do have on board and keep them healthy and happy so that they keep coming after us and supporting us, and we'll keep the sport going forward.
Back to the fourth inning. Back to the action. We're in the fourth inning. It's the top of the fourth, and Riley Moore hits in the 5 spot for the Falcons. One of 6 strikeout victims for Trzynski tonight. Something's happened there. The pitcher and catcher sharing a bit of a laugh.
I'm not sure what happened, but at the speed at what Steph pitches, she was still able to make some noise and a bit of a laugh before that ball hit Amber's glove. So she knew the second it left her hand, it wasn't going where it was meant to.
Riley Moore gets a nice piece of the ball. Brodie Borovnik backing back and takes a great catch out at left field. She had to turn and then she twisted and takes a good catch. Let's have a look at the C-Max replay.
Yeah, good piece of the ball here from Riley, nicely in the zone. She got it up. I think Brodie might have misjudged the wind a little bit there. It carried a bit further than she was initially anticipating, but got back and covered it nicely for the first out of the innings.
Good recovery there. Left the bat well, didn't it? That ball really jumped off the bat of Riley. Yes, I think she got to the spot she thought she had it, and then went, wait a minute. And to her credit, stayed with it, made a great catch.
Lauren Jury swing and a miss on the first one. It's a nice piece of it. Great reflex catch from Sophie Hoyle. Slightly above head height, so had to reach up to take that one. So 2 great catches in defence for the Eagles here in the fourth.
Yeah, Soph makes that place her home over at third, and she's got very good reflexes, and it showed there.
Ollie Durham back up to bat. Has a good cut at the first one.
So far it's going a bit like our game the other night here, Bill, where we a few runs in the first innings went the way of Glenelg, and then it became a stalemate. It became no runs getting across the plate. The pitchers and defence in the field were doing really well. So it's very similar to that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sturt's kind of running out of outs a bit here, and that first inning has set up Steph to just rear back and throw whatever pitch he wants. I mean, she's tough at the best of times, but with a 5-run lead, Sturt needs to get something going.
As we see on the live stream there, our lead commentator here chasing his paper across the desk and gets himself on screen as well as on the mic tonight. James, you've nailed it.
Well, at least I didn't drop my second F-bomb live on air. Yeah, but I had to chase my scorecard. Thanks to you guys for stopping it, by the way. Durham swings wildly at that one, and that'll be the third out of the inning. Nice pitch from Trusinski just to break up the pace a little bit there and catch Durham swinging on a low one.
Yeah, it was good. She really sucked it back in and pulled it down, and Durham went committed to it. Obviously, the ball bouncing just before the gloves, so the throw goes up to first for the third out, but turns over the innings again, and I think Sturt really need to just find a way to make these runners get on and get them home, because West Torrens aren't giving an inch, and they've got the lead, and they're playing with confidence.
Yeah, they're going to need a good defensive inning here, get themselves out, and right back in on the bats as quick as they can. And they've got the 8-9-1 order to deal with first.
Thanks to MC Sportswear. Have either you got an update for the score on the backfield?
Yeah, it was rolling into the bottom of the sixth now, so they started a sixth inning just before the end of time, and it's gone to 8-0 the way of Port. So they're going to have to somehow turn it around over there, the hills, because they're going to have a turn at bat, but that'll be the end of the game once they do, because Port are jumping away.
A little bit of a blowout. Well, there's Ollie Durham on screen, and since that fifth run crossed the plate, she's actually had a firm grip on this game, retiring 7 of the next 8 batters, only giving up a hit and 1 walk, and the defense holding up, including a double play from Belinda White to end the last inning. So this is the battle that we thought we'd see. Wasn't it a tight battle? Since that fifth runner scored,
yeah,
it's 0-0.
As soon as that first inning sort of completed, we've gone back to the stalemate we thought we'd have, where it was very tough in the defence and was going to make it hard for batters to get on and get around, and that's what we've seen since.
It's kind of been the story of the second half of the season, hasn't it? The games we've seen. That one early mistake or not mistake, but one early inning where they're not quite on, get some luck, and then it just stays level from there on out.
Tara Lord grounds out to second base, Hannah 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine Ollie Durham wouldn't have been pitching in their doubleheader they had against the Hills, because she would have been away at the time with the under-18s. So she's come back. This would be her first Premier League game of the 24 year. I don't recall her name being involved in the state champs on the weekend. So really 16s and 18s is what she's done. She would have pitched a lot in a few days there, so she's had a bit of a rest. Maybe she was just that little bit off, a bit like what we said the other night with Martinez, just having that break and coming back a little bit off early, and whereas Jade had come back from nationals and was smack bang on the spot straight away.
Well, Martinez has got a state championships under her belt now, so she might be sharp for Walkerville in their next game.
Yeah, Adelaide Lions.
Once she got through that sort of first 5 or 6 batters in that first innings and came back, she was hitting spots that she was needing to hit in the first innings, and it came good and got tight. So over the back, Port Adelaide just loading it up with the hits tonight. 1 to Golden, or a 3-base hit to Golden, a single to Nevers, 2 singles to Brianna Marcelino, a single to Maslin, Callahan and Engler, and 2 singles to Zoe Thompson, and a triple to McKenna Smith. So they're all getting bat on ball over there. So that could be the difference in that game out there. Port just getting the hits, whereas Hills just taking time in the box but not getting on base.
Marcelina's a good batter, and she had some good hits with the Open Women's when she was away with the Stars. She was batting in the 3 spot, I think, and did quite well.
I reckon powerhouse.
Dropped a couple over the fence.
Yeah.
and just makes things look easy when she's rolling around in the field. So
Jackie Beale gets a nice piece out to the left side, just in front of Lauren Jewellery at left field. It was a well-placed shot from Jackie Beale, and she's aboard with a single.
Look, that's a good piece of hit, and she's put it just inside the line. Jury coming in, kind of running a little with the glove out instead of flat out. And
yeah, I think she was charging in and then just sort of knew she was going to have to take it low if it was going to carry.
Yeah.
And
did a good job in getting behind it and stopping it. Kept Jackie from going to 2 on that one.
Back to the top, and Harris up to bat, swinging first pitch and fouling it off. Third time through the lineup now for West Torrens. To this point, Durham's done okay, just given up the 3 hits, but 5 walks, 4 of those coming in the first inning.
Yeah, the first innings, as you said, they weren't hitting her much, but she was just unfortunately letting him up onto base through walks and probably not finding the zone.
She'll play the lead runner here as Jackie Beale slides in to try to break up the double, and effective because Harris arrives safely to first. C-Max replay, another ground out to the pitcher.
Great play, turn, good composure, puts it right at the bag. Bell makes that transfer as quick as you can, but you're not going to get Harris on that. She's one of the fastest down the line, isn't she, James?
Absolutely. One of the all-time leaders of stolen bases since we've been keeping stats, and she had a year off.
And a good showing for anyone who is learning the game at all there on that replay. The way Belle White moved herself across the base to get out the way of the runner before she released the ball, so that you don't have the issue of trying to scamper your feet away from someone sliding in at you. She was quick to get to the side and throw the ball at the same time. It was really good demonstration for anyone who wants to learn the shortstop game. And a good call also early from her. It was a very loud call from here. I could hear it as soon as the ball was hit. She called 2, so Ola knew where to go.
Yeah, there's no hesitation.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Amber Hood, and 2 outs for the Eagles. Harris has stayed put at first, not wanting to take on the arm of Tonkin. Hood gets a piece of this out to the right side, and Kennedy comes in quick, smart, gets herself into a good position and takes a comfortable catch in the end. So this impressive defense from the Falcons continues, with their blemish being the first inning where they gave up all 5 of their runs. C-Max replay, Abby Kennedy.
Yeah, good fight back from the Falcons here. From what they did in the first innings, they were a little bit off with a lot of reds, which is very unusual for them. But they fought back pretty hard. Ollie started hitting her spots. She's done some good stuff in the field as well, fielding her own pitching, and they've been able to hold them at bay, and they just need to now turn it around, which is going to be the difficult part against what Steph Drzezinski's doing in that middle there. She's just really powerhousing her way through this game.
Yeah, and Sturt finds themselves in the 8-9-1 spot here coming to the plate. So we'll have Jordan Lee hand it 2, and back to the top of the order with Sarah Tonkin.
Can't quite see who it is, but I see there's a little bit of warming up going on over there behind the first base dugout. Not sure if it's a pitcher warming up, or I did see a bit of a chat between Belle White as she came off the offensive innings last time. Had a little bit of a chat to the coach and was maybe discussing some plans or changes and that sort of stuff. So whether there's a change imminent, I'm not sure, but definitely some warming up of Mensforth and Rebecca Jury out the back.
Yeah. And Mensford's played quite a few games for them in left field, so that might be the possibility change there.
Riley Moore
is throwing. Okay. Well, I guess they have to do it between innings because Riley's been playing first base, so the warm-up happens there.
Sensational work from our team at Spacequake Sports, the best in the business, capturing there the bullpen for the Sturt Falcons. As we go back to the action, Jordan Lee gets a nice piece of the ball, finds the gap, and lead off aboard for the Falcons.
Yeah, need to now capitalise. You know, last time around, Hannah had the 1 hit. She's hit it to shortstop and got out. She needs to somehow advance that run around so the likes of Tonkin, Kennedy, White and Cameron can help advance around. because this is their time to do it. They're getting close towards a time in the game where they're not going to get many more options, and it's probably the last time we're going to see the top of the order go through.
Yeah, you want to advance, but you can't sacrifice how it's doing it, so you're going to have to look to hit the ball on the ground, find the holes, and keep things moving.
Hannah 2, the 9-hitter for the Falcons. Shows bunt straight up for Amber Hood. Makes that catch look easy, and that's the first out.
Yeah, not the result they would have been after there. And only one out though, still runner on, and a pretty powerful top of the lineup coming up. So Sarah Tonkin last time at bat hit that nice ball out to left field. We've seen the nice hit to left field as well from Belle White, and we've seen a
Sarah Tonkin watches that one through high for a ball, the third time through the lineup. As I flip the scorecard over, West Torrens have only had one more plate appearance than the Falcons so far in the game, so the score maybe not reflecting just how close this game could have been.
Absolutely, it's as we said a couple of times now, it's a good fight back from Sturt. West Torrens got through their entire lineup the first inning, so to closing back down with not many at bats after that's been very impressive.
That one's in there. 2-1 count. Jordan Lee still on first. Low ball, but somehow she's got underneath it. Trzynski has to take a step outside the pitcher's circle to make that catch, and that's the second out. Here's the C-Max replay.
Yeah, she's got the ball out in front of her and reached up for it a little bit. Ball went up, Steph, a few steps to the right, and
did not take her eye off it for 1 second. Calls out third base Sophie Hoyle. Nice play. Abby Kennedy with 2 out, runner on first.
Got herself on with a walk last time. Good at bat. Abby's been a good hitter. She had a big tournament last year in the 18s, I want to say. She was had some big hits and doubles.
Yeah, went away with an Aussie squad.
Yeah, Aussie squad, that's correct.
I'll just quickly say, Steph Trzynski got 7 strikeouts for the night. She struck out 5 of the first 8 batters. And Sturt have only had 2 strikeouts since then.
She's a handy pitcher.
Oh, I was crediting the Sturt batters.
Yeah, they've come back, yeah.
Well, and just as I say that, there's strikeout number 8 for Trzynski to end the inning. It's been a bit of a pitching duel here since the second inning, and West Torrens really holding on to that big advantage that they took in the first, where they put on 5 runs.
Yep. Game out over the back, thanks to MC Sports. The score update completed now at 8-1 the way of Port. So Hills managed to get a run over the plate, which is good to see for them. Their development's coming along a long way this year round. Georgia King had a good hit, a couple of hits for them over the back, so very handy for them, and a run batted in by Chloe Zachary down the bottom. So 8-1 the way of Port. That'll give them those couple of points to push them up and change the ladder around a little bit, but just going to really consolidate the top of the ladder. If this game stays the way it is as well, it's going to be pretty close.
Well, Sturt's going to have to get the outs very quickly here to give themselves another crack, because we're, 15 minutes, 10 minutes till
no more new innings.
No more new innings. So they're looking for 3 quick outs. West Torrens, they can, I'm not saying they're going to use stall tactics, but I don't think they'll be swinging first pitch and make Ollie pitch.
Yeah, making the young kid work here, West Torrens, but she's can hold her head up high, because since that first inning, just the 1 walk and 2 hits given up. So she's put in a big performance for her team in this inning, missing Zali Adams and Ruby Fidge, going to do a college stint. I'm sure we'll see Zali next time they play. Who's Sturt got this weekend? Sturt have the bye this weekend, so it'll be next Wednesday night when they take on the Glenelg Rebels. Kaiser gets after this one, under it a bit, and a 2 nearly gets to the fall of the ball, but not in time, and Kaiser will survive. Nice pitch for Kaiser. You mentioned Chloe Zackley. Her brother is away with the state under 23 men's who are playing in Hume in Victoria as we speak. It's day 2 of that tournament, so it's the second last nationals for this season. Kaiser gets under this one, fouls it off, and we're actually hosting the last of the season. Well, I'm not counting the 35s. 35s are in the off-season. So in this summer season of national championships, under 23 men's on now, and good luck to the SA boys for the remainder of the tournament. And we host the John Reid Shield, the Open Men's, in March, 5th till the 12th, maybe? 5th till the 10th?
Yes, it starts on the 5th.
Belinda White makes a play on the run, fires it across, and equally impressive was the pickup from Riley Moore for the first out.
5th to 12th, you're not 100% sure there, James. You might want to have it in your calendar. I think you're a bit busy that week, aren't you?
I've got annual leave that week.
And Bill, you're a bit busy as well that week.
I haven't got my annual leave yet for that. I got to book that off tomorrow, actually.
I hope the boss isn't listening.
Yeah. Well, we should be okay.
It'll be a fantastic event. Obviously, the #1 men's national team in the world champions. They'll be rolling in. You're going to see some fantastic players, elite players. And there's some pictures that'll be coming over, James, that I would not like to be in your position standing in the batting box. However, what a challenge you've got ahead of you. Yeah,
Adam Folkart's got to play his first tournament in Adelaide. Jack Besgrove returned to Adelaide. Last time he played here, he was playing for South Australia for the under-17 boys before New South Wales thought, this guy can play a little bit, we might pick him.
But of course, on our side,
taking on the world.
Was that 2019? The 17 boys, 2019?
2019 right here, yeah. And then from that point, he just dominated the world after representing South Australia. He just took on the world after that. Jack Besgrove. We'll see him here in Adelaide. Great shot from Emma Burridge, but taking the ball down low and to her left. Hannah too takes a great catch.
It's exactly what you said they needed. Sturt try and finish this off so they can get another go at the bat.
Yeah.
2 down. Danny Bascott at the bat. She hasn't hit a ball yet. She's been walked on both occasions, so still about 6 minutes, 5-6 minutes to go.
Yeah, gonna have to go after her here, make her swing the bat. That's a great catch, hanging in there. The ball tailed a little on there. I think she set her feet and it kind of drifted a bit to her glove side, but she stayed with it. Great catch.
And James on the South Australian team and Bill on the South Australian team, any players to watch or players that should be tough for opponents from our end, do you think, without giving too much to the opposition?
Well, from our end, I mean, you can't go past, the guy sitting right beside you there on the right.
Well, Jared Farrell will lead the charge for South Australia. Harry May, of course, is hot on the doorstep.
I was going to get to them.
Of Jared, but the John Farnham Retirement Tour ends right here in Adelaide in March.
Yeah, Jared Farrell, obviously, a great tournament in. They were playing in the Pacific Islands. There was that
American Samoa.
American Samoa, yeah. And he had a great tourney. He's in fine form. He was in fine form in the senior states just gone by, as was Caleb Zackley. He pitched very well.
Yeah.
And he'll be one of our players too.
Both in Team of the Year. They were the 2 pitchers in Team of the Year.
And we saw the young in behind the plate, who's over with the 23s at the moment, the pickup from Tasmania.
Oh, yeah.
Young Marshall, went really well and he did very nice.
Hard ground ball. Belinda White comes in, takes it before it bounces a second time, fires it across, and we're going to go around again. We've got time for a sixth and final inning. Let's just have a look here at the C-Max replay of Belinda White. It was a hard hit shot from Baskai, and she's hardly got out of the box before Belinda White's firing it across to first. And you want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time, log on to cmax.com.au. Guys, just touching on Sturt and Ollie Durham have retired 13 of the last 15 batters after that fifth run across the plate. So they really have settled into that game after giving up those 5, and they've done it with a limited amount of fuss as well. So, you know, maybe just they're a little bit down on themselves or something for giving up that 5, and then since then they've just gone about their game.
Yeah, and you know, they got a positive start with the bat. They put 2 on base into scoring position and couldn't get them home, then returned the next innings and gave up 5. However, as you said, James, the performance since then has been Sturt-like, where there's just been nothing going wrong for them. They've been getting the outs. What they're making West Torrens do now is they're making West Torrens hit the ball, and the West Torrens are hitting it to the fielders, which is helping a lot in keeping that score down. So credit to Ollie Durham, a young kid, to have turned her performance around in the space of an off innings, basically.
Yep.
And she's come back and gone really, really well. So credit to the senior players in the team that I'm sure would have got around her. And
Durham and White both with 5 plays in that time as well. Here is Belinda White, the 3-hitter for the Falcons, and with West Torrens leading, they might not get another bat if Sturt can't put 5 or 6 on the board. As the team batting second in the lead, they would generally call the game. So this might be it. 3 outs away here, West Torrens. And Steph Trzynski has pitched a beauty. She's only given up the 3 hits so far. She's got 8 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, the couple of innings kind of hurt Sturt with the bat as well. You know, that second innings where they got the 3 straight out, the 4th innings 3 straight out. So, you know, those sort of innings hurt when you come out and you can't capitalise and get runners on. When you're chasing, you really need to make the most of every turn at bat.
They do now, yeah. They can't be playing small game unless it's running bunt. They've got to just get on base and keep pushing the next person along. Yeah.
Fouls that one off, 1-2 count for Belinda White. We'll talk C-Max player of the game in a moment as timeout called. Maybe from the catcher, or is that from the batter? Not sure. So start making your notes, fellas, for the C-Max player of the game. Just missing the outside edge, and that one looked pretty tight. 2-2 count. And very similarly to last turn at bat, Bill, she's fouled that one onto West Beach Road.
Yeah, not a glancing foul ball. Like she's making solid contact. So she's committed to the swing. You know, you out in front like that, you got to make sure you follow through with it and hit it hard. But now do we look low and away or away off the plate, or do we look change up because he's so far out in front?
2-2 count. Bit of a change of pace. Gets under it and flies out towards right side, and Jackie Beale takes a nice catch for the first out.
Yeah, we see here on the C-Max replay, ball out on the outside of the plate, probably well off the plate, to be honest, where the angle was there. But
yeah, lost her shape a bit. She let the bat go with just one hand on the bat by the end of the swing.
And I think there was a slight change of speeds too. It was just a little bit off pace. So good pitching by Steph. Cameron's hit both balls to the left side. Fly out to shortstop on a 6-3 put out.
goes opposite field, hits it hard towards Jackie Beale, who takes her second catch of the inning. Been quiet out at the right side for majority of the night, and then Jackie Beale in 3 pitches has taken 2 catches.
As a pitcher, you'd want him hitting out there all day long tonight, because it's blowing in so hard it's never going to carry. Great routine catches out there by Jack. Trying to remember the last time I seen Matty Cameron hit the ball right side.
Change of pace, first pitch. Trzynski wanted it. She's not going to get double-digit strikeouts tonight. She's on 8 at the moment. And West Torrens 1 out away from a 5-0 win against top of the table Sturt Falcons. And the live ladder would actually put Port Adelaide in top spot with 31 runs against. Sturt will now drop to 35 runs against, and both on 24 points. So the Port will jump back up to the top of the table.
Yep, that runs against will come back, yep. You did say that earlier, that was going to determine it if it stayed as it was.
Am I correct in saying West Torrens will jump to 3rd?
Yeah, on runs against also. They'll be tied with Glenelg on 21 points, and Riley Moore ground ball to the left side, just skips the glove of Sophie Hoyle, and a little bit of life for the Falcons.
Yeah, that ball there, Sophie a bit disappointed with herself, got down under the glove, made its way out to left field, and Riley finds herself safely up at first. 2 out though, still the call.
2 out and a glimmer of hope. Lauren Jury?
Yeah, Lauren Jury back up to bat. That one in there for a called strike. Swings and misses on the high ball. 0-2 the count. Runner on 1 as we see the teams from Diamond 2 making their way past us. All smiles from the Magpies. And Lauren Jury fouls that one off to keep the hopes of the Falcons alive.
I think she skinned that with the very tip of the bat there on that one.
Just quickly back to the ladder, West Torrens will go to 21 points should they win this game, tied with Glenelg. Runs against at the moment 41, Glenelg 44, so that's a tight race as well. Swinging a miss, and Trzynski gets her 9th strikeout victim to end the game, and maybe a nice segue to the C-Max player of the game. 9 strikeouts for Trzynski. She just gave up the 4 hits and no runs, shutting out the top of the table. I've got that name circled in your notes there, Bill.
Got my vote.
Yeah, got my vote as well. 86 pitches, 63 strikes, 9 strikeouts for the match, 6 innings pitched. So did a very good job in the middle there, and it was really the difference between the first innings was the middle. So
yeah. And other than the first inning where she gave Sturt a bit of a sniff when they got runners on, and as far as the third base, but shut the door from there on out.
An interesting game though, where West Sturt had more hits than West Torrens.
Yeah, that's right. I was just going to comment on that as well. 3 hits to 4 in the game. So Ollie Durham has done pretty well, but gave up the 5 walks, which is tough to give her votes for. But you know, West Torrens just contributed all the way through the lineup, particularly in that first inning where they scored their 5 runs, and defensively sound. An error off 2 errors in the first 3 batters, and you sort of thought, well, you know, maybe Sturt are on top of this game, but clean sheet after that, and it didn't cost them anything, those errors either.
That one, the couple of wild pitches too in that first inning, there were multiple runs scored on that one. Remember the throwback? Yep. It was kind of an anomaly there, but yeah, that kind of costly.
And then after that, Sturt really were holding on, weren't they? But they just weren't able to chase down and close the deficit. Well, tonight we had 2 games in the Premier League. Port Adelaide took care of the Hills Heat P8. 8-1, 8-1, and it was the West Torrens Eagles 5 over the Falcons 0. Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you so much, Pete. Thanks to Brandon and your team at Spacequake Sports for bringing us the best softball broadcast in the country. We will see you on Saturday, the big clash between the West Torrens Eagles and the Hills Heat. And very special thanks to CMAX, our broadcast partner. And if you want to help Advanced Tomorrow's Healthcare and get paid for your time, log on to cmax.com.au. We'll see you Saturday.